What we're going to talk about today is the courage that it takes to cut people off. And we're not talking about the easy people. See, there's some easy people to cut off. We talk about cutting people off all the time. We know what it takes to cut people off. It takes courage. It takes focus. It takes determination. It takes influence. It takes all of these things, because cutting people off is not an easy thing to do once you have allowed them to entrench themselves into your life, to be entrenched into your life, to be emblazoned upon the surface that is your life. But let's talk about one of the toughest things. It's about cutting the people off that you haven't mastered the art of letting go of. It's easy to cut people off when they're all bad and they're doing them but detrimental to your life. But what about the people that aren't necessarily detrimental to your life, but they aren't benefiting your life? If you can't do that, this is when your cutoff game is weak. And what we're trying to do today, we're going to talk about 7 things that will fix and correct your weak cutoff game. The reason why there's people around you that you should have been cut off 2 years ago. The reason why you're so emotionally caught up in the situation that you can't get out of it. Even when you leave, you keep coming back. Or even when they leave, you keep letting them come back. The reason why we have a tough time cutting off every single person that should be cut out of our lives. And it's because we lack the courage to deal with the pain of cutting somebody off when you have emotional attachment to them. The only thing that keeps someone in your life that shouldn't be there is your emotional attachment to them. So what we're going to talk about today is cutting people off takes courage. You can only build by doing these 7 things. Now let's cover elephant in the room. Cutting people off doesn't mean putting them on ice. It doesn't mean separating yourself for a short period of time. Cutting people off means that this is their last chance to be in your life. They're never going to be able to get another chance. There are no do-overs. So if you got a situation where you have been with somebody and then y'all break up and y'all get back together and y'all breaking up to make up is the opposite of cutting people off. It is your example of what it looks like to have toxic energy in your life that you can't let go of, or that won't let go of you. The only toxic energy worse than the one you can't let go of is the one that won't let go of you. Because the one that won't let go of you, you don't have the capacity to leave it. And I want you to remember some things that should give you the ammo that you need to leave even those situations. The first one is this: stop overvaluing people. Stop overvaluing people. I don't care what anyone contributes to my life. I'm not going to overvalue them. And number 2, we'll tell you why in number 2. But right now, I want you to focus on stop overvaluing people. Stop acting like someone's presence in your life makes it better. Just their presence. They don't have to do anything. They just show up and your life is better. Unless we're talking about the Most High, I don't know who you're talking about. It's delusion and confusion. So stop overvaluing people's presence in your life. Also, stop overvaluing people's contributions to your life. Put a 1 in the chat if you ever had somebody that you did something for and they try to act like you owed them forever. Like you were in debt to them forever. They always want something else. You remember I did this for you? You remember I didn't do this for you? You remember I didn't say this? 10 years later, they still want some payback. Let me tell you something, brother. Life goes on every day. So their contribution from 5 years ago, it was a phenomenal contribution for 5 years ago. But 5 years later, all they get is remembrance. If the topic comes up, then yes, I remember the time that, my cousin Junebug had, I was down and out, man. He let me borrow one of his cars, until I got my business off the ground, man. And, if it don't come up, bro, Junebug, I done paid you back already. I don't owe you nothing else, Junebug. I've already given. Matter of fact, I've paid you back 7 times over because I let you run that game on me for 5 years. Where every time I saw you, I owed you. Man, listen, man. Man, I blah, blah, blah. And for a minute, man, it's cool. It's cool. But the moment you stop feeling like you owe anymore, you stop paying. If you paying off a car, when they send you a letter and say, hey, man, this your last payment. You've been keeping up with it. It's in your records. It's your last payment. You mean to tell me the next month you're going to send them a payment anyway? No, you're not. When you're done owing somebody, you don't let them convince you that they owe you, because here's what it is. Not only are you overvaluing their contribution, you are allowing them to influence you in a way that they shouldn't be able to influence. So that's another way we overvalue people. We overvalue people's influence. We overvalue people's way of motivating us or motivating us to do what they want us to do, which isn't motivation for us. It is coercion for us. So those are 3 things we overvalue in people: their presence, their contributions, and their influence. Yes, you're appreciative of what someone's done. But let me tell you something. Number 2, you give God all the glory. I ain't got to give you no glory for what you did. God put it in your spirit to do that for me. You're a human just like me. God put on your heart to do something. God put you in the position where you had to do what you did. So I thanked you, but you don't get the glory. I don't owe you forever because you only did one thing. I owe God forever because every day he does something else. You know what it's called? Let me show you. Let me show you the blessing that God give me every day. God give me this one blessing and he don't give me no more. He give me this one. This is what it sounds like. Oh man. Let me get up from here. That's what that blessing sounds like every day. So how I owe you for something you did 5 years ago? Man, I ain't got nothing to give you from 5 years ago, bro. I got to focus on the blessing that God can give me every day. So don't overvalue people's contribution. They did what God put on their spirit to do. They did it. You appreciated it. You paid them back already. Really, all you owe somebody is a thank you. I promise you, brother, all you owe someone is a thank you. Because if you do something for me that I can't do for myself, then what I'm going to do? All I can do is thank you. I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate you doing that. And I'm going to hold you in the highest regard because I know that you did something that benefited my life. I'm not going to take that from you. But you're not going to take my life from me, take my future from me, take my growth, my progress from me, and stress me out because of what you did all those years ago. If I'm going to do that, I might as well let somebody hold something I did bad against me years ago. If I did something bad, I need to let somebody tell me, no, you ain't the person you became. Don't try to act like you done changed and became the person God wants you to be. You ain't that person. No, cut it out. You ain't that person God told you to be. You that person you used to be 8 years ago. Nah, you can't fool me. No, no, no. You can fool the people sometimes. You can't never fool me. Trying to act like you good. Trying to like you done changed. Trying to act like you a different kind of person. Trying to act like you've improved. Trying to act like you've grown. Trying to act like all this stuff that you've shown is real. But I know you're down to the bone. You the same person you were 8 years ago. Now, if I ain't going to let nobody do that, why am I going to let somebody tell me, you know, you owe me from 8 years ago, don't? Man, you lost it. So here's what I want y'all to understand, man. I want y'all to keep in mind that you got to give God all the glory because everything good and great is from God. Everything bad that makes you tighten up is from God. Without his grace and mercy, you will fail. So you can't afford to give the glory to people. When you give glory to people, then you can't let them go. When you give glory to people, then you feel like you got to hold on to them. When you give glory to people, you think that their presence is so valuable that you got to have them in your life. And if they're not in your life, you're going to fall off. You think that everything's going to go bad if they're not around because you're giving people God glory. Let me tell y'all how crazy it is, man. And I was having a conversation, man, with one of my partners, man. And we were just talking about, man, how quick people are to give everybody the glory except God. You know when, think about this. Think about when people say, my mama passed, but she watching over me. Your mama ain't watching over you. That's God. Your mama ain't worrying about nothing that's in this world no more. Boy, she gone. She ain't even think about nothing in this realm, in this physical realm anymore. But we quick to give somebody God's glory. And what I'm telling you is in your life every day, you give people God's glory and you feel like you need to hold on to those people because you give them so much glory. You give them so much value. That's why you can't cut them off. You can't cut them off because you convince yourself that your life is worse without them in it. You convince yourself that your life is better with their presence, even though their presence is negative energy, even though their presence is something that's causing turmoil and strife in your life at all times. You can't let them go. Even when you get them out of your life, you bring them back. You beg them back sometimes. So give God all the glory. That's how you navigate and build the courage that it takes to cut people off. And when I say cut people off, it's not something you work on. It's not something you gradually do. Let me tell you something right now. If there's a ribbon on a box, let's say you get a package in from Amazon, which I get a lot of those. You take your box cutter, when you cut through that tape, that box is open. You can't seal it no more with that same tape. It's open. It can't go back to what it was. That's what cutoff means. When you clip your fingernail, you can't put it back on. It ain't gonna go back on. That's it. You can't listen. You can't cut your fingernail and super glue it back on. It'll never be what it was before. It'll never be that. And so that's what cutoff game is. Number 3, you got to remember that you deserve to have only top quality people in your life. You notice I didn't say top quality people. I said only top quality people in your life. You deserve to have only top quality people in your life. I'm talking about nothing else, just top quality. Everybody else got to go. You deserve to have top quality people in your life. 100% top quality people. Nothing more, nothing less, just top quality people. You deserve to have that. Everybody in your life needs to be top quality. And if they're not high quality people, they're not top quality people, then you have to have the audacity to cut them loose. You have to be courageous enough to cut them loose. You have to be self-serving enough to know that you deserve to have high quality people in your life on all levels, whether you're intimate relationship, familial relationships, friendships, business relationships, all of that should be based on having the right kind of people in your life. All of that should be based on that. And I mean, compromising that is something that we cannot afford to do. We can't afford to compromise that. None of us can afford to compromise that. Stop letting low vibrational people, not only let them into you, let me tell you something. You can let somebody into your life and then find out they're low vibrational and then they're not in your life anymore. But until you understand somebody is high vibrational, for sure, you don't let them plug into your life. You don't let them plug into your life. You can't do it. It changes your life in ways that you can't afford to have your life changed. It rearranges your life in ways that you can't afford to have your life rearranged. You have to be on top of things the way you need to be in your life. And the reality is, the longer we go without doing that, the more time we waste doing other things, the more time we allow people to be in our lives plugging in. When they're plugging in, all they're doing is taking energy away. You deserve to only have people plugged in who can benefit the process, people who add energy to the situation. You got to think about a socket in your house. That lamp over there won't turn on until you plug it into that socket. That lamp is an energy drain. So you know what you do? When you're not using that lamp, you cut it off, right? All your kitchen lights, your bathroom lights, all your lights, your outdoor lights. You have your outdoor lights on. But when it's daytime, what do? You cut your outdoor lights off. When you pull up in your car and you pull up at home, you pull in your garage. You're home now. You don't need your car to move you around anymore. What do? You cut your car off. If you got a kid and you make them a sandwich and they don't like the ends of the bread, you don't leave the ends on the bread and let them eat around it. You cut those ends off. You discard things that serve no benefit. You cut off things that are not necessary. You turn off things that do not contribute but only drain, unless you need to be drained. See that lamp? This light that's on me? I need that light to drain energy from the electrical circuits in my home. That light, I need it. That camera, I need it. This MacBook, I need it. This Mixcast 4, I need it. When these cell phones need to be charged, I need it. But when everything is charged, when I'm not using it, what do? I cut it off. So people in your life who serve no purpose and all they do is drain energy, you never need people around you who do nothing but drain energy. So you cut them off and you leave them off. What are we around here acting like we got to have people in our life so much that we accept their negative energy in our lives? Why are we acting like people are so significant that we can't even continue to live our lives without their presence? Why are we doing that? Because it's not true. You owe no one access to the very best version of you. You don't owe anyone any access to the best version of you. You got to protect the best version of you. You got to protect your life like your life depends on it. I say again, you got to protect your life like your life depends on it, because if you don't protect your life like your life depends on it, you will lose your life. You see what I mean? There's a whole bunch of life talk right there. And allowing people in your life who don't do anything but drain your energy, man, that's a definite way to lose your life. When you lose your life, what does that mean? When you lose your time, you're losing your life. I don't mean lose your entire life at once, but if you lose 5 days out of your life because you sleep or you're in a coma or something, those are 5 days you won't get back. And so you can be alive and still be in a coma. You can be living every day and still be in a coma. If you're out of touch with the reality of what's affecting your life in a positive or negative manner, you're in a walking coma. You're in a comatose state while you're moving around. You're zombified. You're just coasting through life, floating through life, dealing with the fact that your life has become so negative and you've allowed so many wrong people in your life that you just accept that as your life's default mode. This negative energy is just your life's default mode. And you're cool with it because you don't have the courage to cut people off. And I'm talking about not the people that do the worst, the people that don't even do anything wrong that you can see, but they're just there. Those are the worst ones because their energy drainage goes unchecked. They just sit there and slowly drain Drain energy away. It's kind of like having a slow leak in a tire, which I wouldn't advise. Keep brand new tires on your car, brother. If you gotta not buy new shoes, take care of the shoes you got and put brand new shoes on your car. You'll thank me later when you put brand new tires on your car, right? Brand new tires don't have blowouts. Balding tires, worn tires have blowouts. Now you may have a road hazard on your brand new tire, but brand new tires don't have blowouts unless they faulted from the manufacturer. All right? Your days are numbered if you sit around and ponder how valuable your life isn't. Well, my life ain't so valuable that my life has so little value that this one person gonna increase the value of my life so much that I gotta take stuff off of them. When you keep people who shouldn't be kept, it shows you don't love yourself. It shows you don't have your own back. It shows you don't have your best interests at heart. It shows you that you would rather someone else be happy with all of your hard work than to be happy yourself. It shows that people can siphon energy away from you without a care, without a cause, with no concern, with no even possibility of consequences and repercussions. It shows that you look at yourself as having low value. You look at yourself as someone who can come or go. You can take it or leave it. They can be. How you gonna look at yourself and say, "Man, I don't know, man. I don't know about you, King Ray Ray, man. You can go, you can leave if you want to." How I'm gonna look in the mirror and say, "King Ray Ray, you can leave if you want to. I don't need you." But that's what you're saying when you let those people into your life who don't belong there. You're looking at yourself saying, "I don't need you. I need them." So let's let them come in and destroy your life because I value their presence destroying your life than I value your presence taking care of this life, protecting this life. Do not give your best qualities for the benefit of people who can't reciprocate. And I'm not saying you go in the world and you want the exact same thing that you're giving. But if you're giving positive energy, then you want those people to reciprocate your positive energy with their own version of positive energy. If you're giving love and support, then you want those people to reciprocate with their own version of love and support. If you're giving protection, then you want those people to reciprocate with their own version of protection. Even if you have a wife, if you protecting your wife, then you know what you need her to do. You need her to go on the streets and protect you. You need her to protect your name. You need her to protect your reputation. You understand? You need her to protect the energy of your household. You need her to go out there and represent in a way that protects things that she can protect. If you're providing for your wife, you need her to go out there and you need her to provide some things from her perspective, the things that she can provide, the things that will benefit the situation. If you have a business partner, you can't be doing all the work. If you're doing all the work, what are they doing? You got to demand that business partner does things that are commensurate with his skill level. And these are the things that we must always remember. We have to do these things. Self-respect is the only respect that trumps all other forms. You can have respect for people, but it don't trump respect for yourself. You can have respect for your family, but it don't trump respect for yourself. You can have respect for your company, respect for your boss, respect for your employee, respect for your employer, but it does not trump the respect of self. Respect of self is the only respect that trumps all others. You have the right to prioritize self-respect over every other form of respect. You have the God-given right to elevate self-respect above all other forms of respect as far as value and service in your life goes. You have that right. Because if you give your best qualities to people who can't reciprocate, you'll just end up giving until you have nothing else to give. And one thing that anyone can tell you who's given until they had nothing else to give, when you give until you have nothing else to give, none of the people you gave to or any of the things you've done are coming to your rescue. If you give until you have nothing less to give, you are just going to be a person who has nothing. Because all of those people you've been giving to, they've been leeching from you because they don't know how to maintain energy. So whatever they get from you is gone. You're the one, you're the reservoir of energy. You're the reservoir of positivity. You're the reservoir of motivation. You're the reservoir of know-how, instructions, guidance. And so when you give all of that away, what do you have? Because those people don't have anything to give you. That's why you have to make sure that people in your life are co-contributors to your success. And I mean financial success, I mean spiritual success, mental success, physical success. You got to make sure that people in your life are contributors to that. I'm talking about full-time contributors, not sometime contributors. You see, the problem with us is we have to focus on positive energy. The only way to do that is to make sure we focus on positive energy giving people, places, and things as well. Certain places I don't go. I don't care what's going on there. Certain places I don't go because I don't get positive energy from that place. And I don't get positive energy from proving to anyone that I will go in that place. that I will be in those areas, that I will be around those kind of people. Bruh, I don't care nothing about that. You got to focus on positive energy giving people, places, and things. Notice I said all three: people, places, and things. You can't take good people to bad places, and you can't bring bad people to good places. You have to honor and respect yourself in order to honor and respect the God that's in you, the Spirit of God that's in you. You have to respect yourself so much and understand what that spirit is. Of course, you got to cut people off who get in the way of that. Of course, you got to eliminate people who stand in the way of process or progress. You got to eliminate those people. You got to make those people move on and go in their direction. That's what you got to do. And the thing is, if you can't do it, then who is that on? Whose fault is it that you can't do that? Whose fault is it that you can't build yourself and motivate yourself into what you need to be and how you need to be? Whose fault is that? Is it mine? Is it somebody else's? It's your fault. You're the one that has to protect yourself. It's your job to protect yourself. It's your job to direct yourself. It's your job to instruct yourself. And then when you do something stupid, it's your job to rebut yourself. You have to understand that you're in control of making the decisions of who's going to be in your life. You don't owe them to be in your life. You don't owe them access. You don't owe nobody. Well, she's been in my life all this time. I'm going to let her stay. Man, we've been friends all this time. I don't want to lose that friendship. The problem is the long time you've been in the friendship was too long. You should have been ended it. So now you're going to let the excuse that you stayed in the friendship too long be the reason that you don't end it. You just stayed at the job too long. So now you're going to stay longer. Is that what we're hearing? So y'all got to understand, man. Like, it's your fault. It's your job. It's your responsibility. It's not God's responsibility to keep people out your life. He gave you the wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and know how to do it. He gave you the strength to do it. You got to cut people off on your own. You got to get these people out your life on your own. You got to let these people know they don't belong on your own. You got to tell yourself these people don't belong on your own. It's your job to protect you. God is not your protector, not from yourself. Not from your own decisions, not from the things that he gives you the power to do. He's your protector from those obstacles. If you're living a life that's pleasing to God, that's your protection. His promises are your protection. If you live this life, I got this for you. But if you live that life, I got that for you. That's your protection. But when it comes to decisions that you make, man, you have free will. You have free spirit. You can do what you want to do. You can wake up and say, that person is going to stay in my life because I'm weak and I'm soft and I can't let them go. Or you're going to wake up and you're going to say, that person got to go because they're causing damage in my life that I can't afford because I love me and I love my life. That's on you, man. You owe yourself that. Cutting people off takes courage. You can only build by doing these 7 things. Number 1, stop overvaluing people. Stop overvaluing their presence, their contributions, or their influence. None of those things are valuable enough to let somebody who's negative stay in your life. Number 2, give God all the glory. When you give God all the glory, then you remember that those people don't have the value that stay in your life. They did the things they did because God put on their spirit. If God would have put on their spirit, they wouldn't have done it because that was for the Most High. You understand me? The Most High did that. Everything that's good and great is from God. Everything that's bad that makes you tighten up is from God. He give you lessons and he give you blessings. But when you really think about it, the lessons are the blessings because they keep you from stressing. And without his grace and mercy, you're going to fail anyway. Number 3. You deserve to have only top quality people in your life. Stop letting low vibrational people plug into your life. You don't owe them access. Number 4, protect your life like your life depends on it because guess what? Your life does depend on it. If you don't protect your life like your life depends on it, then you will lose your life. And I don't mean lose it all at once. Well, hey, oh man, King Ray Ray gone. No, you'll lose it slowly. You'll lose the goodness. You'll lose the righteousness. You'll lose your health. You'll lose your wealth. You'll lose yourself. You'll lose your stealth. Man, you can't afford to lose none of that. When you keep people around who shouldn't be kept, it shows you don't love yourself. It shows you don't respect yourself. It shows you don't care for yourself. It shows you're not going to protect yourself. It shows you're not going to direct yourself. What it shows is that you're going to neglect yourself. That's what that shows. Number 5, do not give your best qualities to the benefit of people who can't reciprocate. You understand? If I'm going to give you positive energy, I'm not accepting negative energy back from you. If me being in your life or if you being around me is elevating you, I'm not going to, man, listen, I'm not going to. If I'm escalating your rise, I'm not going to let you de-escalate mine. If I'm sending you up the elevator, I'm not going to let you press the down button in my life. I'm already going up. How am I going to let you take me down? Because if you keep giving your best qualities to the benefit of people who can't reciprocate, eventually you're going to be empty. Your tank is going to be empty. You're going to be running on fumes. And that's the people who live with regrets and they think back and say, I should have been left that person alone. I let that person stay too long. I stayed at that job too long. I stayed in that situation too long. I kept dealing with them people too long. Those are the people who live with those regrets. And number 6, self-respect is the only form of respect that trumps all other forms. It don't matter what kind of respect you're talking about. Self-respect is top dog. It don't matter whether you can name whatever respect you want to name. Because let me tell you something. You don't have to worry about giving other people respect. If you respect yourself, it reads as respect to other people. Because if you respect yourself, then you respect your reputation. You respect your appearance. You respect, your how you present yourself to the world. And so if you're comfortable with who you are and you respect who you are, then people can read that. It's like a flashing sign on your shirt. If you respect yourself, you automatically respect other people because all respect begins with self-respect. All respect, because you know what? When you respect yourself, that means because you got to think about this. You know you and all of your flaws, all of the things you've ever done wrong, all of the things you overcome, all the things you have yet to overcome. So if you can respect the person that you know everything about, that's the foundation of respect. You know why? Because respect is earned, and if it's not earned, it must be returned. You understand me? Respect is earned, and whether it is or not, when it is given, it must be returned. You must respect yourself. That's the only way to demand people respect you. And when you demand people respect you, the people who respect you automatically get your respect in return. Respect doesn't start with giving respect to other people. It starts with giving respect to yourself. And then you demand from people the respect that you have for yourself. And then there's a domino effect. You respect yourself. They respect you. You respect them. Sound like a respectful relationship to me. And number 7, focus on positive energy giving people, places, and things. Why y'all think I'm going to the motherland, man? Why y'all think I'm doing it? You know what I'm saying? Why y'all think even when I travel in states, man, I go places that are culturally diverse. I was just in Connecticut, man, and literally, there's a strip where there's an Italian eatery right here. I'm talking about an Italian eatery. Everybody in there is Italian. Like it's an old school Italian eatery been there. Right next door, there's a Mediterranean eatery. The Mediterranean eatery, there's a man who owns it, and he's got his 2 nieces in there working for him. Like two Mediterranean, the nieces in there working for him. You move on up, there's an Asian spot. Not only is everyone who works in there Asian, everyone I saw eating in there is Asian as well. You go on up, there's a Caribbean spot. You know who works in Naman. You know who work in the Caribbean spot. The Caribbean don't let no one come through who don't know their culture. You see what I mean? So I'm telling you right now, you have to inject positivity into your own life by not allowing people to bring their negativity into it. That's the only way to protect your positivity. You have to, man, when somebody coming in, they bring some negative energy, you got to stop them don't even let them get to the door. You got to stop them in the yard. Don't step on them steps. Matter of fact, stay off my grass, stay off my steps, get back outside that gate right there. Who let this person in? That's how you got to live your life, man. I want you to remember that cutting people off takes courage. That you can only build by doing these 7 things that we covered on this show right here. And if I need to do a part 2, you know I'll come through. So, man, y'all put God first, keep grinding and growing, my brother. We're going to get ready to slide on out of here, man. And let's move, baby. Let's move. Peace.